You watching the Comedy Plug on Pharcyde TV. Bammy. Ooh, what it do, party people? You rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, A-S-A-R, coming from the land of sugar-free, so you know it's nothing sweet, but everything's nice. It's a brand new episode of the Comedy Plug, you know, where we go ahead and we play those ha-has. We got some bass, we got some slappers, and of course it wouldn't be the plug if I didn't have a homie with me. And this is a very special episode, mainly because we've been on the air for 1 year exact today, baby. I thought it was going to be more excitement. But we've been exactly on the air for 1 year. That's dope. It's really dope. I've had fun. Super shout out to everyone that's been catching on to the show. Shout out to Boyle Heights. Definitely shout out to the Arts Conservatory that lets me come through every Saturday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and play with them just a little bit. But we're not here for that, man. We gotta play them bangers, and of course, I had to bring you a cut from the pie. Ooh, the next up, Benz by the homie Illy Isamar and Isaiah Civ. And you know where you heard it at, baby. The Comedy Plug. Oh, come on now. Who else do you better than me? No one. That's right, my G. You rocking at the Comedy Plug. I am your host, the speech guy, Tony Asar, A-S-A-R. You can follow us over at fm.comedyplug, where we shout out to producers in the rooms. I love producers. They are the greatest. But you can follow us over at fm.comedyplug on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Or if you want to see the visuals, check us out on Pharcyde TV every Wednesday, 3 p.m. If you're listening from the community of Boyle Heights, shout out to y'all. Thank you for keeping us here for a whole year. Let's make it another one. It's getting better and better each time. I'm having the most fun. But it's not about that, man. It's about the homie with me. And this homegirl right here, I did have her on through, but there was some technical diffs. But it don't matter, because I'll bring it back. We run it back one more time and let them know what it is. Tell the people what your name is.
Hey, it's Jihan Sabir.
Oh, I know. Is that intro a lot? Because every time I do that intro, people will be like, dang, this... from the Bronx.
Oh, was I supposed to yell the city I'm from?
Hey, it helps. Where you from?
I'm from, well, technically 510, but I'm from the Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, so everybody always says the Bay, but that's like, what specifically is the Bay? Because there's like a South Bay, East Bay type thing, right?
South Bay. Okay, no. But that's a real thing, but you know.
That's what I'm saying. Clarify.
I'm not really messing with the South Bay.
What's the Bay?
The Bay is all the cities around the water, but fair. I'm from the East Bay, yeah. So I'm from Richmond, San Pablo area, and my family is from Oakland.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what's the culture like over there? Like when you was coming through?
Like, as opposed to what?
Well, I know, like, what is it? Like, around Oakland is where the Black Panthers is at. So I imagine, was there, like, a type of trickle-down effect from that? Or is it all gangland, Coach Carter?
Oh, damn. Okay. I'm sure there was...
Deep.
I'm sure there was gangland. Obviously, my mama didn't have me in the gangland. Although we live gangland adjacent, that's for sure.
No, I feel that from me.
But no, yeah. I think there was always like a sense of pride or like understanding like of my culture, and ethnicity, all that stuff. And like my dad, he likes to say like, outside, because it's just like he was like, yeah, I joined the Black Panthers, but he joined for like 5 minutes, and
he was at the first meeting though.
I don't know if he was at the first meeting, but whatever meeting he went to was his first and last. And but no, for sure, like my family has been in the Bay for a while. Like my grandparents, all my grandparents, my mom's parents and my dad's parents are both from the South.
Okay.
And so my parents were the first generation in California. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay. And growing up in that time, I could imagine experiencing. Like, were they at odds with their parents at the time? Like, them boys gonna get you killed.
No, I don't know. Listen, if you knew my grandmother, my mom's mom, no, she ain't about that life. But but my dad, what's funny about my dad and his brothers and sisters, they sound so country. And you're like, how? You've never lived in the South, like, ever. And they sound so country.
Nature versus nurture. That's that.
It's because their parents or whatever. Because both my grandparents, my dad's parents, are from Arkansas. So it's like,
how far back can you trace their lineage?
Oh, I don't know.
Because
I will tell you though that my family has been here a long time.
No, because if that's the case, if you could trace your lineage all the way back to and prove that they were slaves, there's some California reparations that you could eventually apply for. Next year. Yeah, it's a new thing. I'm trying to put black people on. They trying to get us money now. We are in.
No, my family's been here a long time. Yes. No. My great grandmother was born a slave, but she was young when the slaves were freed. So my grandmother's mother. Man,
So Obama was like what killed her. No.
No, she was gone way before that. Actually, I think my grandmother died before Obama became president. Did she? Yeah, she did.
My grandma was alive when Obama became president, but she had Alzheimer's already, so I don't think she
didn't know what was happening.
She probably was chilling with the right.
My grandfather was alive, though. We call him Big Daddy. He was alive.
Oh, that's some Southern stuff for sure. That's some Southern stuff for sure.
I know he's from Oklahoma.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Shout out Black Wall Street. No, so you grew up in a dope culture. Sounds like you have a big family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of love. So, did you end up going to college from there, or did you just start like, I'm a comic, I'm here?
No. I never wanted to do comedy. That was like never a thought in my mind, like as a young person. Mm-hmm. I went to school in Los Angeles, and I went for musical theater, actually.
Oh, where?
I went to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, which sounds fancy, but it wasn't.
Are you sure? Because that
it was expensive, but it was not fancy.
So, like, what musical theater? So, you was like doing musicals? You was out here being Cinderella?
That's an interesting reference. Is that your only frame of reference for musicals?
Yeah, old school Disney.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was not being Cinderella.
I should level it up. What's a good musical? I need to be out here in the
Although, I mean, I was poor, but I never got my glass slippers, and my pumpkin never turned into a carriage, so.
Well, that's good, because that means you have schizophrenia.
Oh, no. Yeah, I studied musical theater, so, like, you know, we had voice, we sang, and we had dance classes and acting classes, and, like, a bunch of other stuff. Because I was in a BFA program, but it was good. It was cool. I liked it. My teachers were super dope, but I had to deuces on it because it was too expensive, so I didn't finish. But I got what I needed.
That part. Hey, sometimes, man, like, I know I'm not encouraging no one to finish college. Definitely finish college if you can. And
right.
All that,
yeah. If you can, do it. I would have totally done it.
But also, if you're just smart enough, I mean, not smart enough, you just pay attention enough and you get the basics, yeah, you can, like, sell out an adventure. So, you didn't drop out, but you, like, Kanye'd it real quick. It was like, I decided I was finished. You know what I mean?
Well, it was more like, they were like, you don't have no money. And I was like, you right. And so,
got me.
That part.
So, how did you transition from musical theater to
stand up?
To stand up, right? Especially stand up in LA. It's a different type of
yeah. Culture. Well, after college, I lived here for maybe almost a year after I left, and then I went back to the Bay and I did theater for like almost 5 years, and then I moved back here and I taught myself how to write. And I was like, well, like, where do you, like, I don't even know if this is funny. So I had to bounce. I was like, I need someone else to read it. And I met this girl who, through a mutual friend, we all went to the same college together, but we just didn't know each other.
College be like that, yeah.
And she did stand-up. And so she's like, oh, I have this mic. If you ever want to just come read your stuff out loud, it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So one day I didn't go to do anything. I just went to support her because I didn't have nothing else to do. And I just saw a bunch of bad comedy. And I was like, oh, I could do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was hard, though. Listen, when you're like, oh, they're terrible. But then you go up there and you're like, oh, this is hard. But if I actually work at it, maybe I'll be good.
But how long did it take for you to come to that realization? It's like, oh, I could do it. Was it after the show you had your ha-ha, or was it like by the third or fourth comic? You were like, you know?
Yeah, it was probably by like the fifth comic, because every comic, when they started bombing, they started telling like suicide jokes.
Sorry, comic leader.
Sorry, suicide jokes and like dead baby jokes. Like clockwork though. Each one. No, it's because they were like dying. They were all bombing, and they all went to those same subjects, which I thought was wild. Right. I was like, did I miss a memo?
Yeah. Oh, dead baby jokes are kind of funny.
I didn't say they're not funny, but these weren't.
Yeah.
But every one of them told like either a suicide joke or a dead baby joke, or both.
Yeah, there's something weird in I definitely say in LA comedy scene where like share my pain type jazz going with it. Like everyone just go up there bleeding in unison, and I'm just like, this doesn't sound funny or seem it.
I don't do a lot of self-deprecation. I don't know. I just I don't know. I feel like there's enough people talking bad about me. I don't need to add to it.
You feel that for real? Is that a real feeling?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I decided that like I wouldn't talk bad about myself so much, because that's not my job. That's other people's job. There's enough people to do that.
Hey, that's a beautiful affirmation. I like that. No, and you're definitely right. No, because I'm not gonna lie. I'll be having my self-doubt and be like, I don't think you got this, Tone. You're right, Tone.
Oh, I didn't say I didn't have self-doubt. I just don't talk bad about myself as much. Like I try not to. I'm not always successful, but I try not to talk bad about myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. So after you do the show, after you do your first mic, was that the moment you was like, I'm gonna stick with this, or was it like,
it felt super familiar to me because I was on stage and I was used to being on stage, but I didn't have anything to talk about. So I was like, okay, I like this. So I did research for the next like month or two, and I went to all the shows. I went to so many shows, so many mics, just watched comedy. And then I got on stage again, like maybe a month and a half to 2 months after that first time.
And what was the first joke that landed for you?
Ooh, I don't even know.
You remember your first one that
I don't know, probably something like crowd? White people are like this and black people are like this. Probably something dumb like that.
I don't know. My first years, I was doing some corny dad jokes. But
you know what's so crazy is like some of the premises, they're fine. It's just I didn't know how to make them good yet.
That part.
Like there's some premises that I had in that first year that are not terrible that I might revisit later.
Okay. What's been like, how would you say that comedy has started helping shaping your art, be it from coming from that whole musical theater standpoint? Like how did it add to what you already have?
Comedy?
Yeah. Because you weren't doing it, and then...
Yeah.
Or if you... been doing it, have you got anything? I hope so. Did you get anything?
No, yeah, I think that doing theater was like I felt super comfortable on stage, so I had a lot of confidence on stage where I know a lot of comics don't when they first start out, because a lot of comics have never been on stage before they start doing stand-up. Yeah. So they're really awkward on stage, and I wasn't. And so that was super helpful starting stand-up. And what I found doing stand-up is that, like, I didn't know this, but comedians are my people. Like, this whole time I'm thinking theater people are my people.
Are you sure? There's some druggies out here.
No, I didn't say all of them. But I feel way more a sense of community with comedians than I did with my theater people.
Yeah,
although there are theater people that I would, I'm still friends with, and we still talk and we hang out and everything, and I love them. But as a whole, I mean, just the community.
So what's the difference? Because in theater, you have rehearsal nonstop, right? So I imagine.
Yeah, you know what it is. You know why I think I feel closer to comics is because when you do theater, you're with people for a lot of time. Yeah. For a short period of time. So, it's 3 months. Okay. And then you might not see that person again for years. Whereas comedians, I see everybody for not that long of a time, a few hours, but almost every day.
That's true.
So it's almost it's like going to your auntie's house in the summer versus living with a sibling. You see them every day, you know what I mean? Whereas, you see your cousins in the summer and y'all spend a lot of time together, but then you leave. Yeah. Right, exactly.
the exit part.
Right. And then maybe you'll do another show together in the future, but who knows? There's a couple people who I've done more than one show with, but not that many.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when was it during your run when you're this is going to be career-wise? Or is it career-wise for you? Or?
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. And my plan is always to go back to musical theater. I love it. I want to go back to it eventually. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm kind of in the stand-up thing, and I kind of love it. And I have to do it. And I know I can't do both because I don't want to be mediocre at two things. I want to be great.
You know what? Yeah, because I like that you said that. That was really honest. Yeah. Because I feel like there's a culture out here where people want to credit themselves for being multi-hyphenated.
Oh, right.
But then you find out not one of them things you want to experience.
Well, I'm hyphenated, but it's oh, yeah, I sing. I'm a singer and I was an actress. And that's what I did for this portion. And then I moved on to this new thing, this new skill that I'm learning. And so... for me, it's oh, you're adding hyphens as you master each craft.
As you learn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not when you buy the Pro Tools.
Yeah. No.
That's for me. All right, smash. So you're saying you can't do, what was that show? You know what? I do know a musical. I watched it one time.
What is it?
It's There was that My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. That's a musical.
Oh, that show. I didn't watch that, but
That's a musical. They sung Bollywood.
I think they were. Well, oh, okay. What? I think they.
I'm throwing words out. Look, I'm trying to
you're literally just throwing words out, but that's okay.
I'm trying to relate here.
I mean, Bollywood. Okay, I got you. They do sing and dance. They were singing and dancing out of nowhere and doing dances. West Covina. It's true. I do remember that show. It was a big deal in the musical theater community. A big show that was.
She tried to discredit a player.
Glee was huge. So when so that show came out when I was in high school. Yeah. And I was in show choir. Yeah. So it was a big deal, that show. They're oh my God, there's musical theater on TV, on major network, and it's popular. That show was huge.
Yeah.
So that was a big one. I didn't My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was a little after that. I was in a transition period.
To tell you the truth, I only started watching it because, Kalia, she had a part in it. I was all right, let me see what this show's about. Let me see what this is about. And then I kind of got hooked. Well, no, I just like this West Covina song because I stayed by it. I was they will sing it like this.
Yeah, I never seen it. I like that. There's a newer show that they just canceled, actually, that I like that was kind of musical, was Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Okay. You know that one? No. It was really good. I was oh, I would love to write for this show because it was comedy, it was drama, it was musical theater. I'm that's me.
Okay, real quick. What would be your musical theater play coming out? What's the story? What would you name it?
What is it about?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
You're you're saying if I had to write a show? Well, obviously it'd be about me. Okay. Right?
No, I don't know.
It would just be my name. That way everyone would know my name. Right?
Hey, I like that. You gave yourself a walk of fame, or a star off.
I mean, Also, I think my name is dope enough that I don't even need a last name.
Hey, you're gonna be like Prince.
Exactly. Formerly. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. So, where you at on your journey right now? I've seen you been on the road a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to like do other cities. I'm trying to get this LA thing going. It's kind of crazy because during the pandemic, I know like a lot of people just like stopped doing stand-up.
Well, it was kind of safer. Did you see the places people were doing stand-up at?
Yeah, I was doing outside stuff.
Yeah.
So I was doing outside. I did do Zoom, even though I didn't really care for it. But it paid.
That was a different culture, yes.
And, you know, I got to work on some new stuff. And, like, I think I didn't do stand-up for maybe, like, a month. And then I was like, I don't understand. I was just like, I don't think people understand, like, everyone thought it was going to be 2 weeks. I knew that was not the case.
Yeah.
And, like, so I was just like, all right, well, I'll take this little break for right now. But then as soon as something happens, like, opens up, I'm, like, in that. And I kept doing it. So a lot of people, basically, whatever they were doing before the pandemic, and then they stopped, they have to start over. So you can't count those 2 years. Like, you can't be like, oh, before the pandemic, I was 4 years in, and now I'm 6 years in. No, you're 4 years in.
That part.
But I kept doing it, so like I count all those years.
And what strength did you gain battling it out through the pandemic and keep going, that you would say?
Something I gained?
Yeah, because you tried new stuff, no?
Yeah, I had new stuff. I felt like the pandemic made people super resourceful. Like, people got mad creative. Like, I did stand up in alleys, on the sidewalk, in parks, in backyards, under bridges. Like, wherever there was, like, an open space outside, like, I did stand up.
No, that makes sense, because it is all about repetition a little bit.
Yeah, you have to do it.
That part. You didn't feel like, hey, maybe I should kick back on this whole virus thing, especially being in the city?
Nah.
No? Oh.
Listen, I was out every day anyway. I can't work from home, so I was already out.
Oh, why can't you work from home?
Because I'm a nanny, and they're not coming to my house.
Who you nanny for?
I mean, no one it's not a famous person.
I don't know, because some people
not only famous people have nannies.
Man. No, I'm a poor person, so when I hear nanny, that sounds like $1 million. Like,
nah, you know
you
what?
Walking into an estate, and then there's like the other door, the service door, and then they were like, "Have a good day."
Oh my gosh, not true. Anyone can have a nanny, honestly.
Oh, fire! I'm getting the message. I'm getting the vocals. And I feel you. We're going to come back to the conversation. But for right now, shout out to the party people listening and streaming with us. If you want to catch up with any of the songs that you're hearing today, be sure to click the link in the bio. Check us out and follow us at fm.comedyplug. And it wouldn't be the plug if we didn't have a featured comedian for us for this hour. And today we got Zenobia Del Mar. Zenobia Del Mar coming up, and you know where you heard it at, baby. Ooh, the Comedy Plug. And once again, you're rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, ASAR, over here at the Comedy Plug, where you can stream us over at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Anchor, or if you go ahead and hit the link on lpfm.la, you can tune in anytime it's live, especially on Wednesday mornings, 1 a.m. Oh, and if you always want to see the visual, go ahead and check us out over on Pharcyde TV. But that ain't about that, man. It's about my homie with me. And before we take off, Jihan, you said you got a pretty interesting gig. It's not your regular type of gig. You are an essential worker, but not in the sense as a doctor or nurse, but you provide that love and care. You're a nanny?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, so what made you go from musicals to stand-up? And it was like, Nanny, gotta throw that up in the mix.
Well, I was a nanny before I started doing stand-up because it pays better. Like, I was making, even when I was new and not as experienced, I was making more than minimum wage. So that was helpful.
But what brought you into just being a nanny? No one wakes up and be like, nanny.
No. No, my mom, she ran a daycare for over 20 years. And then I had one of my other sisters was a nanny. And I don't know. I just have a...
Overall connection with the little one?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at my job. I don't want to do it anymore, but I'm very good at it.
Okay. Yeah. So what... I don't know nothing about a nanny but Fran's Drescher, so...
oh boy.
I know.
She's barely a nanny.
I know, but it was fun. But, so what in all details is a nanny? What do you do? Like, because they still got their parents, but you're just assisting?
Yeah, basically I'm just like an extra adult in the house to help. Like, when the people that I work for, I just had this conversation with someone, and someone who never grew up having a nanny or know anything about that, you know what I mean? So they see it as like a negative, like you're raising someone else's kid. And me personally, I don't take those jobs. I ain't raising nobody else's kid. Mm-hmm. What I am doing is providing support to the parents and the child. So we work together as a team. So usually I don't say like, oh, I'm working for this person. I say I work with this person because we're a team. And
what's the morning schedule or the day schedule of a nanny? Like, what, do you only check in at certain hours?
It depends.
Like, deuces?
No, it depends. Like, right now I'm only working part-time, so I don't do mornings usually. I'm an afternoon person. So I pick up from school, take to activities, snacks. I feed them. Sometimes I bathe them. I cook a lot in this job I have now, so I'm making a lot of food, dinner. But I've had jobs where, like, I had to make all their meals. I had jobs where I was with them from day to the early evening. Mm-hmm. I've had jobs where, like, I worked for single parents. Working parents. I imagine single parents really need a nanny. I know I was joking, but I could imagine, like, if I could afford it, or my ex-wife could afford it, she needs it. She needs the help. Well, yeah, that's what nannies are not just for rich people. You know, like, it's just a support. Yeah. That's all it is. It's just a person that, like, offer you support, so that you're able to do what you need to do, or provide support in the way of, like, supporting the home while you spend time with your kids. Like, I've done that before, where, like, I cook a lot so they have more time to, like, hang with their kids or do whatever activities. Okay. So it depends. It's just support. Like, I don't think it was set up, like, I don't think nature set it up for you to just do it on your own. I don't think only two people are supposed to raise one person.
It takes a village.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes a village.
I'm just a village that gets paid.
That part. But, of course, it sounds like there's a lot of history of being a nanny. It's not just all the money and whatnot. And you seem like a very loving and caring person. And I guess Cinderella was the right one because she sings to them. I imagine you sing to you.
Sing to my kids? Yeah. I think I annoy them because I sing so much.
It's an annoying Cinderella.
They're like, sing. She's singing again.
But is it ever hard for you to detach yourself from certain kids or certain families? Because I imagine even though you're a support, there's still a type of connection.
Detach how? Like, you mean when I leave? Like, if I stop working with them?
Like emotion, like you don't have emotion attached or get.
Of course. How I can't do my job if I don't.
That part. So yeah. So it never. So you carry it with you all the time?
Yeah, I love all my kids. Yeah, I remember all my kids. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh. Yeah. So
you just glued in?
Yeah, some of them I still see. Oh. Like, I'm watching one of my old kids next week, actually. And his sister just turned 13. And so she had her bat mitzvah, and I was, like, very emotional. Okay. And I was like, oh, this little girl, she keeps growing. And no one told her she could. And I feel that, trust. No, it's like there's no severing the, like, if you're cutting your emotions off, like as far as like loving this kid or caring about this kid, then you're probably not going to be that good at your job, honestly.
Dang, so it hurts when you move on?
Yeah, it's sad, but listen, I have other things. Like, see, that's the difference. It's like, I'm not a
caring nanny.
I am caring, but like, I'm not a career nanny. So like, I already know it's not my end game.
I feel.
So like going in, anytime I go in with a family, I only commit to a year. Okay. So usually I'll do more than that. Like I'll do 2, maybe sometimes 3, but I only commit to 1, and they know that going in. So it's like, you know, it's sad, but like I got
Mary Poppins.
I'm doing other things.
Yeah, I feel that. No, I feel
but I always still say, like I babysat 2 little girls that I used to nanny. I nannied during the pandemic that I don't nanny anymore, and yeah. You know, it's fine. It's just they don't see Jihan as often. But when they do see her, they get really juiced because it's special.
Because, because it's in the summertime.
Not always in the summer, but it's just like special because you used to see her all the time and you don't. And then so when she comes, she being me. Sorry, I'm talking in third person. I'm talking as if I'm them. I don't speak in third person.
You can say they, them.
It's really exciting, you know?
That part.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because you say that you do a lot of cooking because you also got a side hustle with that, no? Like you be on the road. You be on the road with the baggies in these streets.
No!
She got the sugar cane on.
No. I like baking, and so sometimes I'll sell my stuff, but usually it's like during like the holidays or something, because you know that's not my career path, and so I don't want to make it a job because then I won't like it anymore. I like to bake, so when I feel the urge to bake, I'll bake and then I sell it.
What's the menu for the
big seller? Well, the big seller is banana bread, which is not necessarily a holiday thing, but people love it.
Fire.
Yeah, they love it so much, and so I'll make banana bread. Okay. Usually, during the holidays, like I'll do banana bread. I do mini sweet potato pies, and I'll do sometimes I do key lime tarts and sugar cookies.
And where'd you get this like skill from baking?
Oh, I don't know. My grandmother cooked a lot, but I don't know. I just like it.
No, cooking takes patience. Cooking takes like I'm a microwave guy.
Yeah, I just cook. I just like it. It's something innate to me. And also then I really got into it heavy in like high school, like probably like junior, senior year. Okay. We got cable finally, and I started watching Food Network.
Some people will never know the struggle of when you went from basic and you upgraded.
Yeah, my mom finally decided to get cable. She's like, I guess it's worth it now. They started getting better with the deals. You know, they started doing bundles and stuff.
Oh, they got it with the house phone and
the internet.
Yeah. Oh man.
Exactly. So yeah, and then I started watching Food Network, and it was like, whoa! I saw all this stuff. Like, so I'm all self-taught. Anything I know, it's like from videos or shows or things like that. So like, yeah, I thought about going to culinary school.
That's what I was gonna,
but just ultimately didn't.
Would you do a singing cooking contest? Like they got to rap while they were chefing it up.
I don't know. How sustainable is that though? Will people get annoyed?
No. Have you seen Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Oh wow. Well,
what is it? Season 18? What are they talking about?
Way more than that. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, this is every reality show. Like that. Can I talk to you for a minute? Literally, that's all they say. Yeah. And then everyone goes and has conversations in the corners. They're always having heavy conversations at events. I'm like, who does this? No one does this. No one goes to a fancy event where you get all dressed up, dolled up. They done spend 2-3 hours on your makeup and then go pick a fight with somebody. At the party. Can I talk to you? And remember at that the last event we was at, and you was talking to so and so, and I told you so and so did this and that to me. It's like, what are we doing?
But they got their receipt.
Nobody talks like that.
No.
Do you start things with people at events?
No.
Or you go to lunch and then get into a fight and
With
there's water and wine everywhere.
No, it's not just any lunch. It's lunch filled of the 4 people you could have stand all season.
Right, you're always people who are not your friends, and then magically no one's in the restaurant. They're like, "Wow, we really came here to this restaurant when nobody came."
And we got just enough to throw water and do a couple of hill kicks.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I auditioned for a reality show once. Not that kind.
Can we say which one?
Yeah. I auditioned for Masterchef.
Okay.
And
so you did go for it. Nice.
The cooking competition, and I made it through like the first 2 rounds or so. So like, it was like a open call, and you just bring your food. They give you 5 minutes to like plate everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to serve them cold food, so I made a cupcake. Okay. And so I did a key lime cupcake with a lime curd filling, a cream cheese frosting with a lime infused caramel drizzle. And so I'm
sorry. I don't even know what a curd is, but I would munch it.
It's very good. It was good, and I got to the next round, and because I'm a theater person, I had personality and whatever. And they are like, the producers for those shows are crazy. Like, it's wild.
Like, what was the wild? Like the intensity
they
of what they wanted you to do, or
they are the huge. If you're an instigator, you should just be a reality show producer, because that's all they do. That's all. They facilitate drama and facilitate bad behavior. So I made it to the next round. They picked about 10 of us. There was probably like 50 to 100 of us in a room, and they whittled us down to 10. We go to another room, and then a producer, we stand in a line, we step one by one, and they ask us questions. And one of the producers asked a girl, like, "Hey, did you get a look at everyone else's dishes in the room?" And the girl was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay, so who do you think doesn't deserve to be here?"
Wow.
Like, very shady, very,
That's my kind
petty.
of competition. Boy, I've been trying to tell you something.
Man, when I tell you, and I was just like, what? Thankfully, I went last, and she didn't ask me anything too crazy.
What was your question, though?
She just asked me, like, "Oh, out of all the stories you heard today, who did you find the most interesting?" Which is like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And so then I made it past that round.
Okay.
And then I had to come back, and they interviewed me, and I had to answer all these questions.
All right, we're going to come back to this real quick and jump to the music portion. No, this is interesting. We are going to come back, but for right now, this is Cali Baby, Larry June, Private Velvet. Ooh! Shout out to the producers. They keep me on. They really do. They really do. And if you like any of the things that you see on social media, be sure to holler at Maven Content Creation. She got you covered. But that's just what it was with that.
Yeah. Did you want to hear the rest of my Masterchef story?
Yeah. Kick forward with that.
That I auditioned for? Yeah. So I I made it to the next round, the 3rd round. I had to come back, and they filmed me. They asked me all these questions about like my upbringing. I had to fill out all this paperwork too, and like answer questions about my life. And then she basically produced me. So like they would say like, "Oh, where did you grow up? You know, how was your childhood?" And then you would say it, and then they were like, "Okay, can you say it like this? Ooh. Can you say this like that?" And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay." And they would ask me questions like, you had to basically come up with your character, right? Like who you would be on the show.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, so you had to present an idea of who you would be. And so I'm not a villain. And so I would be, I was like the singing chef, and she asked me like, "Oh, do you think like you singing when you're cooking would annoy the other contestants?" And I was like, maybe. I mean,
what she say? Hit the highest note you could.
No. But they're trying to find the angle. You know what I mean? Like they're like, well, who are you? What? Like they want archetypes. They don't want just people who want to, learn how to cook dope food and compete on a show. They want drama. They want all that kind of stuff.
So that's why they go back and forth yelling at each other like that.
They ask crazy questions. I don't know if you've ever watched one of those chef shows, like chef competition shows.
Yeah.
But they always talk crazy about the other people's food and like the dish. They'd be like, yeah, I saw his dish. It looked like trash. It looked like this. It looked like a roadkill. Someone drove over. Yeah. Like they talk mad trash about other people's food and like all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if I could do it. So it didn't work out. They ended up not picking me. They made me do all this work too. I had to film like myself cooking at my house. I had to film my fridge. I had to film my apartment. I had to film the outside of my apartment, my job, me working on my job, doing stuff outside. Like, and I didn't even get picked. But I think it's because they didn't know what to do with me, like as far as like a character.
But during that time, did you see any other recipes? You was like, oh, I gotta try that when I get back to the crib.
No. I did.
Oh, was it really trash out there? Was it trash out there?
No. See, that's the difference. Is I ain't paying attention to nobody else. I'm worried about me. You know what I mean? I wasn't looking at what other people was making. But I did, when we were waiting in the waiting area, I won a cookbook, and I never opened it until like years later, and that cookbook is trash.
Oh, what was the worst meal you saw in there?
The Ritz cracker cake.
Wait.
It was Ritz crackers and frosting.
Ew. It was salty sweet, I guess.
Listen, this lady is very popular. The chef. She was a guest. She was a judge at the time. On the show. She has a bunch of restaurants. She has a dessert place here in LA that I tried a lot of their stuff and I don't like it. It's too sweet. And I think it's because she uses powdered milk, which is trash.
Why?
Very Midwestern. No, it's just because powdered milk is basically concentrated. So milk has a lot of sugars.
Oh.
So it's all concentrated. So it's really sweet. And so she's using that on top of sugar, on top of whatever other sweet ingredients she's using. And so it just makes things so sweet. Yeah, and it's too sweet for me. Like, I know those people, I get really annoyed by people who are like, it's too sweet. I'm like, really? Really? This cookie? It's supposed to be sweet. But her stuff is cloakingly sweet, and I don't really care for it. And I don't think it tastes all that well.
Oh, that's fair. If you was to, what would be 3 dishes you would put in a cookbook if you had one of yours?
Well, my mom has a famous mac and cheese, so it would go in there. People love the mac and cheese, and I make it really well. It's just good. I don't know what's special about it. It's baked. It's like black people mac and cheese, but it's bomb.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Some black people, I don't want to listen. Not every, just because you black don't mean you can make mac and cheese.
Yeah, just because you black cat doesn't mean you can cook or barbecue or I've been in some trap spots.
Yeah. So probably like the mac and cheese, the key lime tarts I make, and which are a big hit, and probably the banana bread. People love the banana bread.
Okay. Definitely gotta check out this banana bread.
Yeah, in the winter I'll have it.
For sure.
For sale. You
have any shows coming up?
I think my next show is next week, at the end of the week, on the 30th. I am doing Surrounded, which is this dope crowd work show at the Improv on September 2nd. So if you guys want to come to Hollywood Improv on the 2nd, I think it's the late show, so it's probably at 10 p.m.
Hey, and that's they just surround the crowd around you guys, right?
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, he puts the crowd in like a circle, a circular pattern, and then the comic stands in the middle.
Okay.
And then they just talk to the crowd.
Like vicious circle.
It's not vicious. It's more like a cipher.
Hey, you got bars? You got bars on top of the arms?
Oh, I don't know. I can't rap, yo. Like, I tried to rap. I auditioned for Hamilton once. This is pre-stand-up.
Okay.
Yeah. And you had to rap for the audition, and I was like, oh.
You told me you could beat Lib Badwell Barada? Is that the dude?
Beat? What? I'm not trying to beat him. They just want to see if you have the ability, because there are songs where you rap. Yeah. But it's like, I was like, I'm not a rapper. Like, I went to school for singing. Definitely. You know, I'm Trey Songz. No, but it's like,
Trey Songz has songs he did.
Okay, well,
he did like a sing rap.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not a rapper, so I did a Queen Latifah rap because it was like the easiest one I could do.
I just want to try out just to battle Lin-Manuel Miranda. Every time he
You want to battle him?
Yeah, it's the weakest bars I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a couple, like...
I like him.
Like, yeah.
I like him as a person. He's really nice. I've met him before.
Oh, no, I'm not shit on him as a person. Sorry, Carmen. I'm not bothering on a person, but just on rap ability.
Okay.
It's just like, much like when you see people do stand-ups, like, I could do this, it's like, No, it's less than that. It's much more, it was like, man, if this was in the back of the bus, you would got booed.
Maybe. Also, I don't think he has that type of ego. So maybe that's what it is. Because rappers have, like, huge egos. And I don't think Lin has, like, an ego that I think he's a very humble guy.
He got, like, what? One of the number one shows on Broadway, boy got some ego back there.
Well, I'm not saying he doesn't have any ego.
You win a couple of championships, you gonna walk around like kiss the rhyme.
I'm talking about this is pre-Hamilton. So he had In the Heights was pretty big, but Hamilton is like massive.
So I've heard.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Nice. Did you in New York or when you came out here?
Yeah.
Oh, how much were those tickets?
I saw original cast. Expensive. More than I've ever paid for a show.
Who's the original cast?
It's Lin-Manuel. It's Daveed Diggs, who's from the Bay, rep. He's from Berkeley. It is Leslie. What is Leslie's last name? I can't think of it. Leslie Odom Jr. That's his name. What'd you say? Nope?
Yeah.
No. It's not Parks and Rec.
I couldn't help myself.
And Anthony Ramos. Do you know Anthony Ramos? He was in that new reboot of She's Gotta Have It. Or not She's Gotta Have It. What was it?
No, She's Gotta Have It.
They remake She's Gotta Have It?
What is it?
She's Gotta Have It.
Wait, She's Gotta Have It the one with Freddie
It's
Prinze
not
Jr.?
She's Gotta Have It, is it? Is it She's Gotta Have It?
They remade.
So I was right. It was a Spike Lee joint. Whatever. They made it a series with DeWanda Wise. So Anthony Ramos played the Spike Lee character, actually.
Oh, all right. The nerdy dude that didn't have a chance?
Yeah, exactly. Anthony played that guy. But he played Hamilton's son in the show. There's a lot of joke people, and he always hires a bunch of black and brown dudes. So,
and none of them battle him?
I don't know what they do outside of the show.
I need you to run a 16 real quick.
Battle him. I don't know. I don't know. There's a scene in Hamilton where there's like a battle. There's a rap battle in it.
Does he win it?
I can't remember. It's supposed to be like Hamilton battling Jefferson. But it's just they got into an argument in the historical context and they made it a rap battle.
All right. I gotta go see this play now. That was the sell for me. I gotta hear the bar on this.
You can watch it on Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus.
I want to experience it. And then after
good luck. It's super expensive.
Sneak past security, like, yo, Lynn.
Yo, you know what?
I challenge you.
You know when they first started opening stuff up in last year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, the beginning of this year, Hamilton reopened here in LA, and like people weren't going because people were scared or whatever, and the tickets were mad cheap. Like you could have saw Hamilton for like $59.
Dang! And did it sell out?
No, it didn't. But I had already seen it, and I would have took my mom, but she got sick. But like you could have sat in the on the floor for like $100.
Dang.
Which is cheap because my tickets were way more than that.
Oh, how much are they on average?
For that particular show, they're very expensive and they're usually all sold out. So like $1,000, $2,000, $10,000. You probably could pay upward of $1,500 depending on where you sit.
Oh, for sure. Well, hop back to this. Continue with the comedy. And you know what it is. You rocking with the speech guy, Tony Asar, ASAR. Gotta give a special thanks to the homie. Hey, tell the people where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram at Jihan.Sabir, Jihan as in Nancy, period, S as in Sam, A, B as in boy, IR, baby.
Oh, and you got a project out that the people could catch you on?
Oh, I do have a 10-minute, like, professionally shot little special on YouTube. If you go to Funny Media Group and type in Jihan, you can find my, I have a set up there.
Oh, okay. Does it have a title?
It's called Get Your Life.
Oh. Thank you very much for coming through. And for everybody else, you could catch us every Saturday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. live on 101.5 if you're in East LA. Or you could catch us on the replay Wednesdays, 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. the late night. I think that's really where this show belongs, in the late night. That's probably why it won't be in the daytime anymore. But we'll see, because FCC is still friends with me. Oh, we get canceled. But go ahead and check out the Comedy Plug over at fm.comedyplug on all the socials. And if you like any of the music that you heard today, again, click the link in the bios if you're streaming it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Anchor. And if you need to see the visuals, do me a favor, check us out on Pharcyde TV every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Oh, shout out to the producer, Maven Content Creation. That's the one who's doing all the artwork behind the scenes and keeping the boys crazy intact. He needs meds. But, hey, it's been a good time. I catch y'all on the next weekend. Ooh. And you know what you're doing, baby. You're rocking with the Comedy Plug. And Aux We Trust.